Okay, finally, now the last panel, okay. I'm very honored to be here to be the moderator of this panel. Okay, due to the time, maybe we can be fast, okay. So first, maybe please our panel guest, introduce yourself, okay.
Thank you, Alma, for hosting us and for putting this panel together. I am Adam. I'm working at Alchemy Pay. Our company specializes in bridging both the crypto and the fiat economies. So technically, what we do is enable users and businesses to transact in crypto and fiat and make it a seamless journey for the users.
Yeah, and thank you very much for letting us be a part of this panel. I'm founder and CEO of Sourceful. We are accelerating renewable power with DePIN. So essentially we connect as many solar plants as possible and reward them with tokens, and by that we are able to leverage totally new markets, unlocking them for homeowners. That's it.
Hi everyone, so my name is Trang Phùng. I'm a co-founder and CMO of U2U Network. We are a secure and reliable layer 1 with subnet technology and a perfect fit for DePIN. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Leon Elings. I work for Blocksmove as business developer. Blocksmove is a mobility blockchain platform incubated at Mercedes-Benz Group. And we've been working on our solutions for the last few years and are now bringing together the asset financing of the vehicles for drivers in a DePIN manner.
Okay, now we have the first question is there. What are the problems that you believe DePIN is still far from being widely used? How can we deal with these problems? So what do you think about this, Adam?
Thank you for the question. I mean, from our perspective as a payment provider for both players in the industry, whether they are institutions or retail investors, we believe that regulation plays a very major role. And we are enforcing that by getting licensed in most of the jurisdictions around the world, almost all of the continents. And that is a very essential element for DePIN, I would say, in order for it to thrive and go beyond just a concept and an idea.
Okay.
Yeah, and from the perspective of building infrastructure, I think one of the biggest challenges is also one of the biggest positive things actually also. But user interface for blockchains. We have so many users out there, people in the world that they don't want to install a wallet, they don't understand the technology. So user interface is a big stopper that can be bridged. You can have custodian wallets and such. And I think the story about this, that you don't care about which database Facebook uses when you're logging in for a social media. And perhaps we need to build DePIN projects in the same way. The blockchain is just a choice of technology for the backend. So, but I think that's one of the biggest, I would say, drawbacks. Also one of the biggest positive things, because we will bring more people into the crypto. That's, I think, is what DePIN is doing.
Okay, so Cole.
So for me, there is several barriers for the user or for the mass adoption of DePIN. So for the first thing is right now, many of the DePIN startups rely to the hardware, right? So, but with U2U network, we have a different approach for launching our DePIN product. We are able to launch the DePIN on the mobile app for Android, for iOS, and we can achieve a very high number of the user or the contributor on our network. We achieve 60,000 nodes within our network after 4 weeks only of the alpha launch. So I think maybe the hardware or the UI UX in the DePIN sector is one of the barriers. And the second barrier is what I call it the self-regulatory, which means for DePIN, we are trying to disrupt the traditional industry, which means we offer the solution to go bottom up instead of top down, like the traditional. So we need to face things and we need to compete with the traditional system. So that is also one of the barrier. And I agree with the gentleman here that regulation is also one of the key points we need to look into when we talk about DePIN. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your opinion?
Well, I can basically confirm what everyone else has been saying, actually, and I like what Frederick said. I think in the end, one of the things that is holding us back is also the scope at which we are looking at the market. I see a lot of crypto projects in itself focus on the Web3 space alone. They don't focus on the end user in general. So what I would like to see more from DePIN projects is that they focus on the rewarding system also on the average person that doesn't want to know anything about DePIN or about crypto, or that you don't need to explain anything to them. I think regulatory-wise, there's always ways around it. You know, there's very creative constructions also, and regulation will catch up. I don't think that will be the issue. The issue is the scope at which we're looking at the market right now and how we need to go about moving further in order to get real adoption going. And DePIN can provide that.
Yes, so talk about the regulation. We have the second question, okay? So currently many countries are tightening their policies related to Web3. So will DePIN as a combination of traditional and Web3 be involved in regulatory issues when it comes to tokens and data privacy? So maybe, okay, from you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Elma. Well, I guess from my perspective, which is a personal perspective, I believe that regulation can always, as Frederick mentioned, Dion, can be circumvented, but still, if these companies focus on serving the mass retail users and abstracting most of the technical aspects where people don't have to know about blockchain or crypto, and it's all embedded. It's the same way people don't need to know which servers they are using when they are navigating Facebook or YouTube. That should be the key. And then overall, if the users find value, I believe that regulations or regulators themselves will catch up. However, having said that, I think one of the best ways is for companies to probably establish themselves in like crypto-friendly or Web3-friendly hubs, such as Hong Kong, for example, which will be an opportunity.
Yeah, and well, I'm probably not the expert to talk about regulation. I'm a founder. We are engineers and we build things. So regulations is usually something that I ask a lawyer about. But as long as I think what you're into, like as long as we build something that is much better than the traditional infrastructure, it will eventually just be something that is natural. And that's what I truly believe. Like whatever we do, and if we are able to build something that is vastly better than the infrastructure that we have now, yeah, it will be solved. And I mean,
yeah.
So that's my answer.
Yes, so, Akor, so how should such issues be avoided? What do you think? The regulator and the privacy.
Okay, so for this question, my perspective is I agree with Dejan when he say that when we do the good product and the mass adoption of user accept using our product, right? Surely the regulation framework will do things. We look into it and we'll try to find a way to fit into what the market really needs, instead of like suspend or making even harder for us to create a barrier of DePIN. So think of this like, for example, the DePIN wellness, right? So we share the health data, and people earn the data that they actually share back to the DePIN project. So in the traditional, the data of the user getting steal and sell or sold to the company, what even the user don't know about it. So for DePIN, we allow user to have an option of sharing the data and contribute to the company and get the reward on that. So I think like it also can be a good way for mass adoption for DePIN. And slowly, I believe that regulation will also need to fit into the mass adoption of DePIN.
Okay, there.
I didn't catch the question a little bit earlier. I heard the answer, but could you repeat the question?
Okay,
for me?
okay. So the question is, we talk about the regulation and the data privacy. So,
Yeah.
how we can be awarded all these things?
How we can be awarded
Awarded, yes.
as participants?
Yeah, the
Yes,
data
okay.
privacy and the
Well,
regulator.
Yeah, I think that basically it will come by itself. You see nowadays already that there's a lot of different DePIN projects with different rewarding systems. There's the classical voucher ones, or the stamps ones where you can collect a certain amount of points and you get something, discounts in return and stuff like that. And that appeals to a lot of people. At least, I'm from the Netherlands and people like to collect stamps and such to get some discounts. I don't fully understand it, but there's a big market for that. DePIN can provide that in order to, share your data, share your access points to certain things, or share your hardware with others. And these rewards, they can appeal to a lot of people. And I believe that will in itself already help also in the regulatory side of things. So to briefly get back to what I said earlier, regulation can be circumvented. I think in the end, it shouldn't be circumvented, but regulation is only a representation of the current or the past. It's never of the future. So, if DePIN shows that it has value, it will show and prove that it's there for the future, and regulation will shape around it instead of trying to prevent it, which you see in some shape in the crypto industry in general. And I think DePIN can be the exception to that and will be.
Okay, so nowadays we know that Web3 is a small industry. Okay, so do you think DePIN will help Web3 industry to invite more Web2 to join the Web3 industry? Okay.
Okay, I think I will pick up on the previous or the last thing that Dayon mentioned, and at the same time answer this. So, look at like the reward or cashback system. It existed in our multiple of industries for a long time, and we love that across different jurisdictions or countries. But it doesn't have to be tokenized to the people. So it is tokenized, but the average user doesn't need to know that it's a ERC20 or other forms of NFTs. It's just that if the specific country or jurisdiction allows it to be transferred and it's not considered a security, or if it's regulated, then it's okay, it can be transferred. The same way you use, for example, booking.com or trip.com, you have points system. So that can be tokenized, but it can be only transferred if it's allowed for those users in a specific country. So at the same time, we just need to build something that is extremely useful. And of course, when it comes to DePIN, is proven that it can have a lot of potential. Look at Uber, look at Airbnb models, and a lot of hailing, ride-hailing apps, or even rental. The potential is immense. If you allow people to participate in an open economy, that means anyone from anywhere will have access, and that means more efficiency and probably less idle cars, less empty rooms or houses, and that means everyone will be making or generating revenue. Overall, the end user will be happy. And having said all of this, they don't need to know about the technical aspects. They are using an app, it's plugged into an infrastructure, something similar to what Frederick or Dayon and the lady here, is building, but it is there because it's useful.
Yes, yes. I'm really...
So I think I want to add on Adam, because I also think of on this ride-hailing and sharing economy app, and just think of how Uber and Grab disrupt their own system, or taxi company, right? And look at the number of DePIN projects nowadays. We are hitting almost 1,000 projects. So I do believe that with our resources, with the education of all the DePIN project put on, so surely DePIN will also play a role in bringing the Web3 into the mass adoption. But surely there's a lot of things more we need to work on to make that happen in the future.
Yes, yes.
And just to continue, I mean, we're talking sort of in circles, but I think one of the things that makes a token valuable for the DePIN, and what also I think is going to transform also Web2 business, what they are doing, That is that you are now able to scale your network and reward users over nations which you are not able in the same way. Like, it's that simple. Like, you can send a token, it's super easy, to someone in China or someone whatever. Might not be regulatory compliant, but you can still send a token. I mean, that's the thing. If you were to start like a global business, which we are starting a global business. We're going to accelerate solar all over the world. How would we even start if we're going to do this in a traditional way? We need to set up offices in each and every country of the world. We can just skip that. And I think that's the big power of DePIN. Like, you actually really use the market. Like, market will take care of everything.
Yes, okay.
And then link it. So
They are all useful, okay? So people don't need to feel the joins of Web3. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also able to swap your tokens to whatever, because the market will do that whatever. I mean, someone will start a liquidity pool, someone will start a DEX, or a centralized exchange. Or DEXs, that is super interesting because they are like also decentralized, like floating around without like actually being regulated. So I think these are the really cool things, and I'm super bullish that this will be part of our economy regardless of like regulations. It's just a fact. It's too good technology.
Yes, I really agree with you. Okay, that's the power of DP. Yes, okay, so Darren, what's your opinion?
I don't think I have much to add to what was being said. I think, Frederick, the way you formulated everything, and also Chloe, I hope I pronounced it correct, and Adam, I think that's, I don't have anything to add to that. Thank you.
Okay. Due to the time, maybe we can finish our panel discussion. Okay, so can we take a picture?